Phyllis Bacon, and do you need my address?
If you'd like, that's voluntary.
Oh, okay, then. There's many rumors going on. Obviously, the number of people that are here, I think there's a reason for that. And there's a lot of rumors, so I want to dispel some of these rumors if I could. Number one is there an issue with Tom Mick remaining as our village manager, and that's number one. Should I give them all to you? All the issues in the community?
You've got 4 minutes left.
Okay. The other issue is about the water department. And there's rumors around that there was some consideration and talk about selling our water department, of which the company, one of the companies talked to was Aqua Illinois, which has been in the news all week about the lead in the water in neighboring communities. Their Better Business score is a D- for the complaints about that company. And I want the board to do more research about that before considering any attempt to sell our water department. The next one is sales of other assets that the village might put up for sale or be considered for sale. Now, this is total rumor, but I don't want to spread these rumors. And so I heard the Aqua Center, the Freedom Hall, the library building, and so please dispel our concerns. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Teresa Goodrich, 35 Cunningham Lane in Park Forest, a 65-year member of the Village of Park Forest. I noticed in the Southtown newspaper a while back, I think last week, that there was a report about the amounts that were set to be given to various municipalities and government bodies in Illinois in their capital fund from Springfield. And it listed all these villages getting hundreds and thousands of dollars. And as I read through it and read through it and read through it, Park Forest was not named. And then I noticed that Thornton Township and Bloom Township and Rich Township was not named. So I don't know whether somebody's got something in for our area. But I did call Senator Tory Hutchison's office, and I did call Representative Anthony DeLuca's office to just say, you know, what's going on. Well, I got a call back from an aide for Senator Tory Hutchinson, and he said that what happened down in Springfield was just kind of a beginning kind of a program, and that it's going to take 3, 4, or 5 years for that to be all put into place. And maybe they won't get quite that much, maybe, you know, but he said that he knows that Park Forest is one of the places that writes the very best grants. And that one of the things that I know the village needs is money for the sewers, to finish putting in new sewers all throughout the village. So I asked him about that, and he said, certainly Tom Mick knows how to get these grants to them, and he's sure that they will probably be taken care of. So
Just to let you know, you have 1 minute left.
okay, so by listening, but that was something that happened, and I just wanted to mention that so that you will know that Tom Haig has a reputation for being one of the best village managers, all the way from here to Springfield. And of course, I can't say favorite village manager because Janet's sitting right here. But he definitely is right up there with the top. So I certainly hope that I know Tom is the one that has to make the decision, but I certainly hope that Park Forest will still have his services in the future. Thank you.
I echo what Therese said. I'm John Moore. I live at 202 Hickory Street, and I came tonight first and foremost to show my appreciation to our village manager, Tom Mick. I would like you all to join me in a standing ovation for Tom. Obviously, there is going to be an executive session where they're going to talk. I don't know what's going to happen. I just hope that the board makes sure that it's very transparent. I'm seething with anger right now. He deserves better.
Yes.
If he were to, the man was targeted in a social media attack, targeted harassment. That's unacceptable for a man doing his job. But more importantly, it's important if Tom does not stay with us, we're going to have to recruit someone new, someone good. And I will want the board to consider who would want to come and work for the village if they get treated the way that Tom is being treated. Right. And I think the board should also realize that you have the power. We have new leadership in this community, and the new leadership does not realize that the village president does not have the exact same executive authority that a mayor of Chicago has. And that this is a very important thing to do, because this community, a community that I grew up in, left, and recently returned to, is too important to many of us. You'll see my dad, my 84-year-old dad, is in the back. Tom's his neighbor. And Dad doesn't come to these meetings, but he came here to show his support for Tom. But like I say, we want to keep Tom, but if we don't keep Tom, we want to replace him with someone good. And I think the board really has to consider how this replacement is carried out, and also how this situation is going to reflect for anyone that would be valuable or quality that would consider leading this community as village manager. Why would you come here if you're going to be undermined by leadership?
Yes. Yes.
People need to understand that. So, I first of all, thank you for the time. Tom, thank you. You make us so proud. When the story broke today on social media, there was a ton of support for you, and we're so proud of you. And no matter what happens, you are a valued member of our community. Yes. And we still want to have you as a neighbor regardless of what your future holds. So thank you.
Yes.
I live at 13 Bailey Road. There are a lot of rumors. Phyllis is my wife, so she mentioned the rumors. I won't repeat the rumors. Two things I'm here this evening to say. Much of what was just said about Tom. Tom has done a wonderful job. I don't know whether the arrangements that will be made this evening or agreements that will be negotiated, etc., are his doing or the village's doing. I hope they work out for Tom, and I hope he does the right thing for himself and his family and for the village. Secondly, about the rumors that are going on about selling village assets, etc. I've heard all kinds of things. I've made up a few myself, which I will not share. But I want to deliver a message to the board, to Jonathan, to all of you folks, and to the entire village, that this mayor and this administration doesn't have a mandate to make sweeping change in this village. Jonathan was elected with about 40% of the cast votes. Jonathan received fewer votes than the than the gentleman who was not allowed to take a seat on the library board because of his past record with troubles with the law. Now, Jonathan is a legitimate board president. I'm not questioning that even a little bit. But I want to encourage him, if he's thinking about making sweeping changes, to stop thinking about that, because you do not have the mandate to do that from the electors, from the voters of this community. You don't have enough votes, dude. We haven't given you permission to make sweeping changes, selling village assets, changing forms of village government, etc. I don't know if that's what you're thinking. Those are rumors. If they are what you're thinking, I want you to know how I feel about it. I want you folks to know how I feel about it too, and I want you to feel the same way, and I want you to pay attention to what goes on in this room.
Yes.
If nothing, if this is all rumor, that's great. I'm going to be your first supporter, John, because when elections happen, they happen for a reason. People win for a reason, and sometimes changes need to be made. There isn't a system that can't be improved, including park forests. And so I hope John's very successful and makes great improvements along with the rest of his board. But sweeping changes, all change is not good. Good change is good. And we need all the voices. And that's you folks. That's your responsibility and my responsibility to make sure that we do the right thing, the smart thing, the wise thing, and watch what this board and what this mayor do. I'm not saying they're planning anything specific, but they may be. There are enough rumors around that I'm really concerned about it. And so I think we need to keep an eye on this. Thank you for your time.
Greetings, everyone. How are you? Good evening. My name is Shartia Jones. I've been here for 14 years, and so I first want to say thank you because you have been the mayor pretty much since I got here, and transitioning here was kind of difficult. So with all that being said, I appreciate it, and congratulations on your decision if that's what you want, but we definitely appreciate you and your service. Okay? Yeah.
There's no dialogue. Oh, yes.
Village manager, correct.
Then trust me.
Thank you. So, I've been the vice president of the PTO in a couple schools the last couple years. And it is amazing to see all of you here, and I just want to invite you all to stay involved. I come here to these meetings, there's one person here, there's two people here, there's three people here tonight, I can't even count. And not only that, I see some children in here, my son was here earlier. Please get involved with the school district. Come to the school board meetings. I actually had a very difficult decision to make tonight because I'm usually at the school board meetings. They go on at the same time.
You have 45 seconds.
Thank you. I've been up here 4 minutes? Okay. Okay, so please get involved, go to the school district meetings, get your voices heard, be heard because decisions are being made on our behalves and we are none the wiser. Okay, so that is really all I wanted to say. I am hoping that as you all move forward, maybe meetings can be arranged so that some people here from the school board can come from that board as well as the people on the board here being involved in that board so there can be some uniform. Because I'd like to see, I would have liked to come to this meeting and that meeting, but I had to make a decision. So I'm just inviting you all, stay connected. We're here, it's Park Forest, let's make the best of it regardless of where we are and let's just try to move forward. So thank you, and again, my apologies, manager, okay? Mr. Townley, thank
My name is Emma Cox, and I live at 5 Ridge Court. Today makes my 24th month living in Park Forest. 24 months. And people say they love Park Forest. I can't say that. I have been asked more times than I can recall, why did I move to Park Forest? Park Forest needs some change. I became aware of Park Forest when I started looking at the budget. And the first thing I noticed, we got rid of the nurses. But right now, Park Forest has a 60% tax dependency from property taxes. That is an unsustainable number. So I don't know, this is the most people I have ever seen at a meeting, and how many minutes I got left? 3?
4 minutes.
I grew up in the segregated South. And growing up in the segregated South, I was allowed to speak more than 5 minutes. So I gotta just say that whatever's going on in Park Forest, there needs to be some change. We can clap, we can laugh, and I'm so happy to see everybody here. But last week, they passed this budget to build down Cicero for the new 3rd airport. I don't know what Park Forest's plans is, but you got 80 acres over there at this old golf course. So what has to happen is that people have to stay involved. I think Park Forest, give me my time because I don't want to be up here too long. There used to be about 30 people. I've read the history of Park Forest. I've read that budget, which is 580-something pages. That is not transparency. I would like to see everything summarized so that I can understand what's behind all of those words. So what I'm going to say to everybody is that you're going to have to get involved. You're going to have to read the numbers. You're going to have to understand, because a 60% dependency on property taxes is not a sustainable number. So you're going to have to make a concerted effort to bring business in here. The grocery store over here opened in April. It closed in September. Right now we have 2 video gaming places. Based on the information I read, you're only going to get a 5% revenue from that. So, and I know these people here at the village work hard, but you're going to have to work smarter. When you read, if you look at the performance metrics in the back, I'd like to know how many calls you make to get business here. But businesses will not come here with a 60% tax dependency. Even if you have TIF funds, they're not coming. So you're going to have to figure out a way to, Pritzker's throwing around money now. He's really throwing your money. Think about it. Next year, your license plate's going up to $150, so there is no free money. So I just got up here to say, the part that I love about Park Forest is my neighbors. I can say that I have beautiful neighbors. They greeted me the day that I moved in. But as far as loving Park Forest as a village, I don't. There needs to be some drastic changes in Park Forest. The structure of Park Forest is a bit antiquated to me. It has a 20% senior population. My neighbor at the end of the cul-de-sac, her daughter is leaving. So we have to start getting people here. One way to do that, I'll finally say, is to improve schools. I was a substitute teacher because I wanted to see how the schools work. In order to improve this neighborhood, you gotta have top flight schools. People move to neighborhoods with good schools, even though the taxes are high. That's pretty much all I want, because I know my background is up front.
Good afternoon. Congratulations to the winners. Glad to have you here and hope you serve as well prepared. I moved to Park Forest in 1968 after coming back from the service. You can't hear me? Oh. Can you hear me now? Yes. Thank you, thank you. I moved to Park Forest in 1968 because of the school system, and it turned out well. All of my children have gone to Rich Central, graduated, and have got college degrees and good jobs. Some of them even met their husbands in this area, and that turned out to be a bonus. But what I'd like to say is, to the new people, this is your opportunity to prove that you were elected for a very good reason to support and stand by Park Forest. Now, if you're here, start to do some research and find out what's good for Park Forest and what isn't. I think that you'll find retention is one of the major factors that comes to mind when you start to talk about Park Forest and its betterment. I've been in this village since 1968. I have seen person after person fill the seat of the village manager, and none, not one, has ever reached the class and the village's important well-being as Tom Mick. Tom Mick is a winner. And he's also a formerly active duty Marine. That means he has served his country, now he serves Park Forest. And if you want to be a dissenter, like the party who just left here, don't be a dissenter. Find out what you can do to make it better. Because talking about it is not going to cure anything. Do like this man does. Put your mouth where your business is and make the village run well. I came back to Park Forest when I moved away. I came back for things that are retained. Water. Don't give our water away. Keep this water personally here. This is one of the few villages in the entire region that has its own wells. And the water always passes the main test. They put out a village monitor of the water.
2 minutes, sir.
Every year or every 2 years, and it always is right up there with the best there is. You don't have to look at the color changing. You don't have to be like Flint, Michigan, where they lie to you and tell you it's good and it's like it's hell. That's not so. Be right there with us, folks. Support Park Forest as you have in the past, and make sure that the people who are here to serve us by demanding that they keep what we have that's good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
As a resident here from 5th grade, I am now 75, so you know how long I've been here. And I've always loved Park Forest, and when you read the beautiful historical things about how the community was created and how beautiful, I knew Jonathan from before he was running, and I always felt he had the potential and the leadership skills and the knowledge to be a great leader in Park Forest. My own personal feeling was it would take him a little longer to get ready. And that's just me, Tom Mick, I've really never known on a personal level, so I can't say anything. I've only heard good things about Tom. So as a resident in Park Forest, I'm just saying, let's try to keep our village whole. Let's try to keep our village moving forward. Let's try to take care of each other.
Are there any citizens' comments, observations, or petitions? Seeing none, moving on. We have a motion for the consent